Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is saying that the 2027 general elections would be his last time contesting for presidency. I repeat, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is saying that the 2027 general elections will be his last time contesting for presidency. He said this during an interview with Arise TV. This one is coming from the horse's mouth. For those people that say that P2B will clinch the ticket of the ADC, come and hear what Atiku is saying. Somebody told me that they are talking to Atiku. They have told Atiku that he should relax and support Obi Kwankwaso ticket. Now, come and listen to Atiku. Arise TV interview by 6 p.m. on the 15th of April. His interview with Arise TV, 6 p.m. on the 15th of April. He said that the 2027 general elections will be his last time contesting for presidency. Now, what does that mean? By all means, he should become the presidential candidate of the ADC. You know, one of the persons that know how to win primaries in Nigeria is Atiku. Nobody can beat Atiku in the primary except somebody like Tinubu, but no other person. Look at what Atiku did to Wike. Despite the fact that Wike had the party, the PDP in his hands, Atiku and Tambuwal, they played a fast one on Wike, and Atiku won that primaries. Wike will have won, but because Atiku is a master at winning primaries, they flushed Wike one side. Now, even in 2014, when they had the APC primaries, when Tinubu and Buhari came together to form the APC, Atiku was part of those that were in that primaries. Atiku wanted to use his dollarization of primaries to remove Buhari, if not for Tinubu's intervention that made Buhari become the candidate, because Tinubu had a plan after Buhari. Atiku, who knows that win primaries, was there to even disturb everything, so that if he can win the primaries, after that he will become the candidate of the ADC in 2014-2015. Not to talk of ADC, when we say anybody who want to join the ADC political party, they go Atiku house. If you want to join the ADC, you go to his house. I believe the headquarters of the ADC is in the property belonging to Atiku. Atiku said, because people were advising the ADC people, when they had this problem with Rabiu and other people, they advised them to leave the ADC and join the NDC, National Democratic Congress. You know what Atiku said? Atiku said that we have invested so much, so we cannot leave this party. Atiku's investment is in ADC. He will not sit down there and allow his investment go to another person. You think he did not make a statement? There's a video to that respect. I may not play it, but I'll put it on the screen. He said 2027 will be my last time coming out to contest for the presidency. That means there's no hope from this statement. There's no hope for a P2B. I told people that I've already seen it. All the indices in the ADC is pointing to the fact that Atiku is going to become the presidential candidate. Some people are saying that we are doing meeting, we have done this meeting, we are telling Atiku to calm down for Obi this ticket. Some people are saying that Atiku Obi ticket is a strong ticket. You see, when I say that Obi should leave the ADC, I know what I'm saying. Now, if Obi becomes the vice of Atiku, Wahala Budeo, big problem, especially in Southern Nigeria, that will become a plus to President Bola Tinubu if Atiku emerges the presidential candidate of the ADC. Atiku have been contesting since God knows when. Maybe the last bomb when Atiku not start the contest. And he's going to wrap it up. So somebody that is wrapping it up will not allow a Peter Obi to become presidential candidate. Mind you, Atiku not do vice before. So he cannot be vice to anybody. He cannot be vice. He's senior all of them for politics. So he cannot be vice to anybody. That means the only slot left for him is presidency. Obi can be vice. Kwankwaso can be vice. Amechi can be vice. But Atiku cannot be vice. So you can see the hand on the wall, except you want to start deceiving yourself. And I like it, the way people deceive themselves. So it is not clear, very clear to you. The blind can see that Atiku is going to clinch the ADC ticket, and it will change the dynamics of the party. And average Nigeria will tell you that instead of Atiku make a rule, make Tinubu the rule they go. I have seen some comments at the Twitter post by Charles Anyalogu, the journalist that was asking Atiku the question. I hope I can read some of them. Somebody saying that let Atiku leave it for P2B. If Atiku does not want to leave it for P2B, they are going to Southwest ADC. They are pointing at Obi. Somebody, ADC caucus, I know some of them. They told me that they are looking for Obi, the southwest part of the APC. That if Obi does not emerge, it's going to cause problem in the southern political structure. Mind you, the ADC is a northern platform, a platform for northerners. I have said it many times. That ADC is not the hope of the north. And the north would not support any other person like the way they would support Atiku. Even by mistake, they inaugurate or the consensus or primaries, Obi wins primaries. The north would not naturally support Obi the way they would support Atiku. Do you know the stakes northerners have in the ADC for them to now leave their brother Atiku and now be supporting an evil man? You know this fake alliance that we are having with the ADC, that day go bust. The same northerners were calling us fourth class, that cows are better. They are aligning with us because they know that P2B has a political value. They want to chop for P2B political value, add that to their own. It is P2B. If you do not get the ticket, presidential ticket of the ADC, you are as good as nothing. Handkerchief. the North as a vice president, they will use it as a handkerchief. Look at Buhari and Osibajo. Say, if you compare Buhari and Osibajo in anything, like you compare Buhari and Osibajo, Buhari is a professor. Sorry, Osibajo is a professor of law. Then you now see Buhari, somebody where we don't even understand. He's the president. Then you now see how they were able to sideline Osibajo, put him by the back. You can see the uselessness of people that they call themselves vice president in Nigeria. How useless they are. Now they thought that Shettima will control Tinubu. They now say, hey, so far you be vice president, you be rag. Then turn Shettima to ghost worker inside Asoro. Shettima dead here. How come or how tough they say Shettima is? Shettima dead here. Through they use power, they deal with Northerners. Shettima dead here. Northern politicians dead here. Shettima is vice president, but through they use power, they deal with Northerners. To show you how inconsequential vice presidential post is, you cannot be effective. It's not with somebody like Atiku and the lions and wolves that have surrounded him. If Atiku becomes president, he has a lot of wolves and lions and hungry wolves and hungry hyena to feed with our national wealth. And the thing where they pay himself, we are not even concerned about whether I want to eat money, because number one, all political parties are the same. There's no difference between Tinubu and Atiku, personally. The difference is the agenda of the South and North. That's just the difference between Tinubu and Atiku. There's no difference in my eye. There's no difference. In political party, there's no difference. Should that people waiting for APC, that they ADC. People waiting for PDP, nobody did APC. Should be that weekend. Now they work for APC for night, work for PDP in the morning. So what is the difference? If somebody can be in two political parties at the same time, so what is the difference between APC and PDP? My own is the agenda of the North. And someone like Atiku, I told you that an average northern politician is, let me not use terrorist sympathizer, is a disciple of Uthman Danfodio. An average northern politician will push the agenda of Uthman Danfodio, whether they like it or not. You see, the Atiku commented on Deborah. They said that Deborah insulted the prophet. They now killed Deborah. Atiku put out a statement. They threatened Atiku can't pull back. To show you that he is a loyal disciple of Uthman Danfodio. If Uthman Danfodio were to be alive, he would have been a terrorist and bandit in today's Nigeria. That's how they roll. There's no difference between the terrorist in the bush, the one in Malaba that has a shop that is doing carpentry, the one that is in school as a lecturer or as a student, the one that is in political office. There's no difference with the traditional ruler and the religious leader, especially the Muslims. There's no difference between them and those terrorists, bandits in the bush. They are the same. So the reasons why you see, I'm against northern whatever. An average Igbo man will tell you that instead of make Atiku make Tinubu rule. This one is clear, direct, not changing. So now for here, ADC problem will start. I don't go fit separate fight. I don't go fit talking. I will watch. You know, I said it. Some people believe that P2P. Why are you wasting your time? If you listen to my broadcast, I've been saying this thing for a very, very long time. Now it is clear. They don't get them. If this man did not do this interview, you say this guy, I am lying. I told you that there's nothing that will happen that will give P2P that ticket. So you delegate voting, Nabi. Maybe not consensus or delegate voting, Nabi. The delegate voting in the ADC, over 70% of ADC members are Northerners. So I know that Northerners are biased. They put their own interest first. Don't let them deceive you. The Northerners that will support it and they will be very, very inconsequential, minute. You can't compare them to an average Northerner. An average Northerner will not support Obi. They will be supporting Obi because Kwankwaso introduced Obi to them, or because Atiku, he's in the same camp with Atiku. That's why they are supporting Obi. They're not supporting Obi because they like Obi. They are supporting Obi because of their own leaders have convinced them to just accept him. We want to use him as our boy. So an average Northerner, when you talk about delegate voting, an average Northerner would not. Because he said, okay, they said, normal party politics, if the chairman is from the north, the presidential candidate should be from the south. Abi? So what is now Atiku coming to say that 2007 will be his last time to run for elective office as president? And I told you that this should be if let's say all these people know what they do. If Atiku does not win, if this is his last, I said it before, if Atiku does not win the next election, he should forget his political career. According to Charles Anyalo, he said he will be 80 by 2027. So is there any reason for him to still want to shoot his shot at the presidency? And that Charles Anyalo was asking very, very intelligent questions. And maybe Atiku did not know when he now came and said, oh, I think this will be my last. And if Atiku is saying it will be his last, well then, do you think that Obi will now become the candidate of the ADC? The only hope of the North? Obi said he will do 4 years, and you believe Obi will do 4 years. Okay, very well. Atiku now, okay, North and South arrangement, you don't scatter them. Because if Atiku entered there now, 8 years. Abi? Hello? 8 years. And you think the North is saying, they are saying, this one that Obi joined the North. If Obi do vice for Atiku, after Atiku is now Igbo turn. When he reach maybe per adventure, Atiku wins the next election because he's going to be the candidate. We want to shed tears. Eventually he wins the next election. 2035, then we will give P2P, can mark it down. For you and I that will not be too old to understand politics then. From now to the next, from 2027 to the next 8 years, 2036, then we will give P2P. The same note. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? People look at this young man. Does this young man know what he's saying? He's just blabbing, he's just saying blah blah blah, blah blah blah. See blah 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 when they talk. Some people they do analysis. This one, that one. When Atiku did invest in money, Atiku stressed himself. Look at the Abuja elections. It was mainly organized by the obedience of the ADC. Look at how Atiku and Mark and Arangoshola, they look P2B and people, they run the election. Look at how they just leave them one side. They don't even put body for that Abuja election, municipal elections. They don't put body, they just allow the obedience run their team because one of the guys was an obedient. You can see how they not put so much effort. Imagine they now, as they do all these things, they wait through, they stress them up and down, stress them from Igbo Square to Moshood Abiola, from Moshood Abiola to Rainbow event. Stress them, when you say they get sleepless night, now only men they can't carry and give it to me. It's like you don't know how this nothing I think. Because I want to sit down and enter the thought part, the way this part thinking. I want to sit down and like sit down in their own thoughts and say, okay, this is how they're thinking. That's how I do my analysis. And after see, take it to the bank. Hey, you know some of the things I want to say, I don't know how people will take it. I'm a politician, and I think like politicians. That's why most times, not all the time, I cannot be correct all the time. I'm not perfect. I'm still coming up in this analysis of a thing. But I try to think like these politicians. I mean, that's why some my predictions come to pass. I told you that Tinubu, his first plan is to dislodge Fulani. After he dislodges Fulani, he's going to build a political empire. How is he going to do so? He's going to collapse southern Nigeria structures. Before you know it, southern Nigeria structures have been collapsed. Now he entered the middle belt. Before you know it, middle belt is saying that we want our political. He appoint people for middle belt into his government, give them exposure. All those people he appoint they don't do politics. The chairman of APC don't do politics. The minister of defense, Ahmed Musa, what? Don't do politics. He introduced the middle belt, giving them leverage. Inside this Tinubu's government, now Hausa will come and say, we are building our political movement. We cannot be slaves to Hausa anymore. Hausa will yari for under this new administration. Under this new administration, but they say, how the North say, how politically aware the North is. How politically conscious the North is. They said that Tinubu is a one-time president. But all their governors don't collapse their structure for Tinubu APC. When they say, when everybody say, this one is Tinubu federal government, they start to come off APC one by one. They come off APC. They call it for political party. As they come out, we think say all the governors in the North will go join the new political party where then Elct and Atiku they build. We think say they go join them. All the governors, you know, 2027, if P2B becomes, if Atiku becomes the presidential candidate, leave it for a Tinubu, and it will cause more harm than good to the Fulani political class. Now that time Fulani political will suffer, waiting no good. That time the Fulani political class, if Tinubu win the next election, I used to say that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it come into the mind of any man what Tinubu is planning seriously for these northern politicians. And if they are wise enough, they will carry this and give Obio, but they will not do this. They are, you know, say we don't sabi anything now. No sabi anything now. Let them even first rescue themselves from the hands of the judiciary and INEC. If they support that one, let them do their primaries and choose Atiku, and let Obi become vice. Let them do their elections. They will cry. Even Atiku said he knows that. P2B wants to know that this man is desperate, and I don't know what gives them the confidence that, or maybe P2B does not want to do that presidency, or he has been planning for the vice all this while. Maybe I may want to believe that, because he should know how desperate Atiku is. Because of Atiku and Wike Palava, he left the PDP and came for the Labour Party. He became popular. If say he no use Labour Party to become popular, do you think say they will invite him? Do not go invite him, or Atiku will invite him, or they will try to convince him he can join the coalition? Do you think? Even the obedient movement I created, he was wise enough not to just stop a Labour Party. He created a movement called obedient movement. Because if he just stopped that, if Obi just stopped at Labour Party popularity, Labour, LP 78, LP 79, if he never created an obedient movement, he would have not gotten his relevance. Anyway, they will use him as mushroom politician. But you see, they see him as a major stakeholder. Even with that major stakeholder, they won't play him, guy man. They won't tell them, say, now we be the old politician. We don't replace politics for a very long time. And Tinubu, they laugh. They tell Rabiu, don't worry, it's like this, we are confused. I will send you to go and do your final decimation. And with Atiku, Tinubu will achieve the destruction. And I'm beginning to see that all of this is geared at stopping an Obi 2027. Maybe they have vowed that they will stop Obi 2027. That's what I'm seeing. No more, no less. Nobody can tell me anything. This is a direct affront to stop Obi. And I pick Obi. I have advised Obi. It's like you leave the ADC now, join the NDC. Or you bring the obedient movement, push and push. Not 2027. It's not for you. You're not going to become president. 2027. This one, APC done. You know, in fact, what APC is planning for is even 2031. What APC is planning for is not even 2027. So this 2027, push on one side. Now 2031 APC, they plan for. Carry your obedient movement, form a political. See, try and get a political party and run with that party. Become influential in one or two places. Let people see good leadership from your political party. Let people see how you are running the party. If the party wins a governorship, whatever, let people see the outcome of your party producing a governor in a certain state, or a rep member, or a senate member, or a local government chairman. Let your party, tell a party, let them show an example. Then people will key into that party and the ideology of that party. So it is better for P2P to start using your obedience to build an ideology now. Build it from foundation to finish. Because now it is dicey, it is slippery, your politics. I hope if Atiku imagines the president, P2P will leave the ADC, because after the primaries, you don't commit suicide. The way Tinubu and INEC do say, after primary, you don't figure on that party again, unlike before. So the time for the sit down, wise up now. This statement from Atiku, don't take it with levity. It's one of those. Don't take it like that. The man knows he has advantage over you in the ADC. Now nothing has get ADC. Even though there's no indirect primary, the same Northerners, they can speak language left, right, center. They know how to do it. How those Northerners will come? If you even book hotel for all of them, find way, mobilize all of them. Not be we hear say $1.something million you use to lobby. That's why they do all those kind of investment. Now I may become national leader, not even president. I may allow me to become president. Well, I don't know, I need to know. I'm just waiting.
Atiku is not a Democrat. Nobody should try to push the narrative that Atiku is a Democrat. Atiku is not a Democrat. Atiku, in my opinion, knows how to manipulate the democratic process. He knows how to plant his henchmen, his loyalists in positions in order to bend democratic processes to his will. He knows how to do that. That you followed and you bent the democratic processes to your will does not make you a Democrat. Peter Obi is a Democrat, and that is why when it comes to a political party and certain key players in that political party are doing certain things that are not democratic, instead of him to behave like a Tinubu and bend the party to his will in a very non-democratic and undemocratic way, instead of doing that, he just simply takes his leave. That is what true Democrats should do. They should allow parties to run based on party constitutions and party rules and regulations. So, I don't want to agree that Atiku is a Democrat. And the reason for me saying this or talking about this at this time is simple. Peter Obi yesterday was at Arise News talking about his plans for 2027. Ticket or no ticket. In fact, hinting at possible defection from the ADC. That video went viral. Shockingly, today, Atiku insisted that he too must also go to the same Arise News, the same prime time with Charles Anyagolu, to also give his own interview. And then in that interview, it became very, very clear that certainly Atiku is contesting in the primaries for a ticket. It's very, very clear. Now, how does this connect or link to the fact that I said Atiku is not a Democrat? If Atiku were a Democrat, you will understand that Nigeria needs this principle of the pendulum, swinging north and south. The north has done 8 years. Atiku would have allowed the south to do 8 years before jumping into the mix again. But from what we heard Atiku say with his own mouth, he's saying that 2027 will be his last attempt, which means he is desperate, which in my opinion proves that he does not respect democratic principle, part of which is the principle of zoning. Now here's the thing. If Atiku is looking at this game as his last opportunity, do you think that he will leave anything to chance? We were all here in this Nigeria in 2022, 2023, when primaries were going on in the PDP, and we saw how dollars were changing hands, how delegates were being bought. Is that how true delegates, true Democrats behave? They buy votes. Atiku is not a Democrat. I wonder why people like Peter Obi, for some strange reason, would think that because Atiku came up with a coalition idea, that Atiku would just relinquish the platform, which rumors have that he bought for 1.7 billion naira from Ralph Nwosu. How Peter Obi and people like him feel and believe that Atiku will just surrender that platform, the platform of the ADC, so that any other person apart from him can come and do primaries and get tickets. It still shocks me. It still beats me. I can't understand it. This man is telling you in very clear terms that this is his last opportunity. That he doesn't care whether it is the turn of the South. He doesn't care whether Tinubu has just used only 4 years out of the 8 years that is supposed to be for the South. He doesn't care. And the allegations are there that, okay, he is the one that brought David Mark. If the allegations are also true that 1.7 billion naira was paid to purchase ADC, and the money is allegedly supposed to come from him, and this is his last opportunity, do you think that he will now leave such a party to chance? Why do you think that he went out of his way to great lengths to force David Mark and Aregbesola, people that he is sure are loyal to him, as the chairman and the national secretary? Why do you think that is? Look, if anything is going to be described as being fair, anybody who refuses to zone the presidency to the South in the ADC and throws it open, that person does not want free and fair primaries. It can never be free and fair if any Northerner joins the race for presidency in the African Democratic Congress. It will not be a free and fair primaries, because the principle of zoning the 8 years of the South should be respected and remove anybody that is coming from the North. So Kwankwaso should not bother, El-Rufai should not bother, Malami should not bother, Atiku should not bother, Tambuwal should not bother, because let it remain in the South. Anything apart from that, it will not be a fair game. Even when you now zone into the South, the fair thing to do is this. The Southwest has had it now for 12 years. 8 years under Obasanjo, 4 years under Tinubu. The South had it for 6 years. For 6 years under Goodluck Jonathan. The Southeast has not had it. This is why we are saying give it to Peter Obi. Not because he's the only one. If the primaries of the African Democratic Congress is going to be free and fair, zone it to the Southeast. Bring as many people as you want from the Southeast to contest. It doesn't necessarily have to be Peter Obi. It can be Peter Obi. There are other persons from the Southeast. It can be Kenneth Okonkwo. It can be anybody. It can be Victor Ume. It can be anybody from the Southeast. But only the Southeast. If it is not zoned to the South and it is not zoned to the Southeast, then it is not a free and fair primaries. It is not a primaries that respects democratic processes. And it is not a primaries that Peter Obi should participate in. Because the fact that Atiku is in it and he's looking at it as his last opportunity and he has gone to great lengths to put his henchmen in charge of that party, forget it. That primaries ain't going to be free and fair. If you like, let Peter Obi be the one that brought the National Organizing Secretary. By the time dollars starts changing hand, you go know how far. Already the statistics have it that more people are registering from the North than they are registering from the South. Now, even the people from the South forget, when better dollar begin to change hands, the henchmen, the loyalists of Atiku will always find a way to bend the party to the will of Atiku to give him ticket. And by that time, it will already be too late. Not just for the Southeast, but for Peter Obi. So let nobody drive this narrative that Atiku is a Democrat. He is not. If he were a Democrat, he would have sat this 2027 election out. He would have chosen or opted to use his influence, to use his experience, to use his financial capacity to support other candidates, particularly from the Southeast. Atiku should go into his retirement, into his sunset days, on a high note by respecting the principles of democracy, by sitting the 2027 election out. This one that is insisting he must run is his last day. It's not good for democracy. And it's not good for the African Democratic Congress. And it's not good for Nigeria.